Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pathbreaker podcast series, where we talk to experts within the social impact sector. Today, we have Arunabha Bhattacharya, who's the co-founder of T4G Labs and Tamuku. Um, Arunabha, let me ask you to just quickly introduce yourself.
As Amit has already introduced me, I am the founder of Tech4Good Labs. It's an organization which works with social impact organizations on solving some of the challenging issues that they face using tech. And we also run a Tech4Good fellowship where we are building a cadre of professionals who would contribute to this area of Tech for Good.
Great. So we're going to specifically talk today in this podcast series for is aimed at freshers or young professionals from a technical background who would be interested in working in the social impact sector. So just to start off, Arunabha, what does Tech for Good actually mean in your words?
So Tech for Good is a very very interesting word. I mean, it's used by different companies, not-for-profits, academics, in various ways, right? And up until now, I think Tech for Good was focused mainly on international development use cases such as telecenters in libraries or mobile phones for health data collection. But it has grown to be much more broader and more inclusive. Tech for Good primarily approaches technology and its use within a greater ecosystem perspective. How will it be used, by whom, how will it be sustained, what is being changed explicitly, what are potential second and third order effects of such an intervention, who are the key stakeholders, what are their needs. These are some of the critical questions that Tech for Good tries to address. Tech for Good is about taking a step back from from different magic bullets, techno solutionisms, fads, to understand the ecosystem of people, technology, economics, psychology, history, culture, and see how technology can be leveraged to make a positive difference. And then, crucially, it's acting on that understanding.
Got it. Which is very interesting. So if you're a technology professional, let's say a recent engineering graduate, and you have technical expertise that you've learned from college, what are like some job opportunities for freshers or young professionals within the sector?
Right. So, Amit, as I was saying that, it is after understanding all these things, you're supposed to be acting on that. Now, a technologist in the Tech for Good space, the development space, often refers to professionals who use their technological expertise to support and enable development work. This can be in various sectors, including international development, community development, sustainability, more, right? These professionals might work for not-for-profits, government agencies, development banks, consulting firms, tech agencies, design firms, etc. Now, what it often means is, how do they go about solving this? How do they go about developing software solutions, designing and maintaining these systems, or using data analysis to inform decisions? These professionals often work at the intersection of technology and social issues. Now, there are several, what I would say, career entry opportunities for freshers. Some of them could be the data analysts. In this role, you might analyze data to inform projects, like determining the effectiveness of a program or identifying their need. It could be as a consultant. You might advise organizations on how best to use technology to meet your goals. This could involve designing systems, selecting software, training your staff, right? Software developers. In the larger context of things, there are some organizations who provide technology support, who use free and open source software, for example. You could work with these organizations. This might involve creating software tools to support the development work, like apps for data collection. It could be simply customizing some of the existing solutions. It could be using free and open source tools like Kobo Toolbox. It could be creating a website for an organization. It could be managing the entire digital, what do you say, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter handles of these organizations. It could be certain platforms for resource management. Many of these organizations within their organizations, they need help in running these organizations. So you need maybe an ERP system to manage leaves, attendance, finance. So it could be about setting it up, designing it, managing it. You could also be a program coordinator. In this role, you might coordinate technology-focused development projects, working with various stakeholders to ensure the projects are carried out.
Yeah.
So these are broadly some of the career opportunities for freshers which are there. Increasingly, we have started seeing a lot of opportunities as a full stack developer. There are learning managers. We have also seen opportunities as associate project managers, where they're looking at managing systems and processes for different organizations, overseeing multiple projects, collaborating with leading companies to manage their delivery of multiple projects using some of their in-house platforms, something for grant management, something for M&E requirements of clients. So there are actually various opportunities emerging, and which has emerged in the last, I would say, last few years. And you're seeing it more and more often nowadays.
Got it. No, and so what I'm hearing from you is there is a wide range of opportunities, and then which is good to know, and wide range of roles as well, with various organizations. The next question that I have is most, freshers or young professionals from a technology background usually comes with the technical skills, right? Because you've been in college, you've studied or done a course, things like that. What additional skills would you advise young people to cultivate as they think about, looking at opportunities in the social impact space?
Right. So broadly, the skills that are required in any of these roles, obviously they depend on the very specific roles, but there are some common ones.
Yeah.
The technical skills include the programming skills like Python or Java, databases, data analysis tools, system design, etc. You would also need to understand, you need to have good communication skills. As a technologist in the development space, you'll often need to work with non-tech people. Being able to explain complex technical concepts in a way that's easy to understand is very crucial.
Yeah.
Project management skills, you might need to manage projects which can involve coordinating with different stakeholders, managing resources, ensuring deadlines are met. Understanding the concept of development, in the specific context that you're working in, understanding the sector like health, education, environment, problem-solving skills. You're working in development, you're often working with very complex problems that require creative solutions. Being able to think creatively and coming up with innovative solutions is the key, I believe.
No, fantastic. Can I add one more skill set?
These are broad generalizations.
Oh, yeah,
but these are broad generalizations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. Let me also get your thoughts on one other skill that I feel is unique across the social impact sector that, for me, is a necessity. That is empathy, right? Unlike
right, of course.
when you're working in the corporate where, the level of empathy required is significantly lower. I feel people who come into the social sector, like something that I usually check for is a level of empathy, right? Like, because you're trying to solve social issues and your ability to understand a social issue which might be outside your, something that you might never have faced, right? Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Actually, it's a very important question, frankly speaking, right? Without having empathy, first, I think we have to discover what is empathy, right? Or in this specific context, right? People say that the deepest form of understanding another person is empathy, which involves a shift from observing how you seem on the outside to imagine what it feels like to be you on the inside. So now designing something that requires that you completely understand what a person wants to get done.
Yeah.
So empathy with a person is very distinct from studying how a person uses something. Empathy is about knowing what the person wants to accomplish, regardless of what she or he has or is aware of this thing that you're designing. You need to know the person's goals, the procedures, the context that the person is in. Need to have a deeper understanding of the motivations, the emotional and physical landscape that the person is coming from. So I think it's very, very important to be empathetic in this space more than these things. And I think this is a skill that is not easily built or
Yeah.
easily available, but I think so it can be built. Even I am still learning how to be more empathetic to understanding the situations, the challenges, the contexts, the stakeholders, the needs, in order to be able to support the communities that we work with. I won't say they're beneficiaries, because I think that we have to think of them as customers or communities that we work with. I think it's very important that we spend more time in understanding the difficulty of the problem we're facing, the time to start looking at the solutions, looking at focusing more on the empathy part of it.
Yeah, no, thanks for concurring as well. I think it is an important skill, and it can't be taught, right? It's not something you read off a book and get. It's
I think you
it's
need to
something
practice, learn.
exactly. Yeah, great. Sorry, going back to sort of career, talking about that. So, as a tech professional in the social impact space, what is career progression? Like you've got your first crack, you've got your first job as a data analyst or a program coordinator in the tech side. But what is career progression for a technology professional within the social impact space?
So I think there are a lot of opportunities that are emerging, right? We run a forum, Amit. It's called the Tech for Good Discourse Forum. And in this forum, we have started seeing a lot more opportunities that are emerging and are available now than was possibly available even a few years back. Because I think the understanding of both the organizations themselves, the stakeholders in the ecosystem, then funders, then various partners and stakeholders like organizations who are supporting Tech for Good related things are emerging. So there are a lot of career opportunities which are, emerging. We see, so I think, so typically most of them, as I said, they start off with as a data analyst or a front end developer or a full stack developer, program coordinator, IT consultant, and then they progress up the things depending on their areas of interest. Many organizations are looking for product managers, for example. So there is people who are interested in product management get through that. Things are still emerging, I would say. Opportunities are coming up. Different organizations, I think I won't be able to give a particular career path, but I think there are a lot of opportunities nowadays for organizations which are now paying almost as good as some of the private sector opportunities, especially when it comes to Tech for Good.
Yeah. No, so in my sort of 16, 17 years in the social impact space, I've seen technology from being a good to have, right, to a need to have, right, to being a problem solver, right? Now you have both not-for-profits and for-profit organizations that are providing technology-driven solutions that are either providing a product or a service, specifically looking at a social issue. And then within those organizations, like the chief technology officer and the technology team becomes a critical piece, right? And if I look at 10 years ago, there was hardly anything. Even large not-for-profit organizations have now like a chief technology role, right? Technology officer, like a CTO, like any other private sector. And that's, I think, what you were attributing to as well. Great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Amit. Just to add on, I think
Yeah.
maybe I could have expanded on a little better. I think the career pathways in the social impact space is very varied, and as I was saying, depends on the different interests and skills and specific needs of the sector that they're working in. But as you also mentioned that we are seeing a lot of CTO roles, director of program roles, etc., etc. As I mentioned, entry level roles can be data analyst role, IT consultants, software engineers, etc. So that allows you to gain an experience in the field. Mid-level roles, after you gain some experience, could be product managers, project managers, overseeing technology projects or programs, senior development engineers looking at specific technology solutions, data and science, data analysts, CTOs. But there are also other pathways. I mean, you could become an expert in using technology in the field. You could study it. You could move to academics or research, studying the intersection of technology and development. But you're absolutely right. I think there is a lot of opportunities now emerging, and a lot of organizations now have the CTO role, director program roles, senior consultant roles, to advise on how best to use technology in the development efforts. So yeah.
Great. We're almost out of time, Arunabha. Any last thoughts or advice to the listeners in terms of, and our audience is primarily, young people, 17 to 20, 24, 25, either, freshers, college students, or young professionals who are just starting off their career, and specifically from people from a technology background. Any last words or advice?
See, I think one is that if you're looking at a job and a career as a technologist in the social impact space, there are several steps that you need to possibly take to improve chances of success. Some of the things that I think is, of course, the technology and the skills that you're interested in, but looking at more open source, free, low code, no code solutions to address some of the challenges, learning, getting yourself more acquainted with the skills and knowledge part of it. Also trying to get an understanding of the spaces and the sectors that you're working in. Maybe reading, maybe immersing yourselves, undertaking a lot of fellowships, gaining experience. If you're just starting out, gaining experience can be invaluable. This could involve internships, volunteering, working on your own projects. Lot of fellowships now coming about. We run a fellowship, for example. There are some people who, and then you start building your portfolio of work. This include the projects that you have worked, problems that you have solved, tools that you have developed, etc. Now, also in addition to this, I think you need to be able to start networking a lot. There are a lot of job opportunities which are available, but I think this involves attending organization events, joining professional organizations, reaching out to people in the field on LinkedIn. There are a lot of forums where people are posting questions, seeing some of the questions, volunteering for some of them. I know there's an organization in Kerala which runs, it's called Tinker Hub. Now they run boot camps on the social impact space, or people who are interested in tech and want to work in the social impact space. How do you transition or understand, or so they run boot camps. Similarly, there are many other organizations which are doing this. You can volunteer in many organizations. I think you should apply broadly. Don't just limit to yourself to one type of organization. Many different type of ways to be a technologist in the social impact space, and applying to a wide range of jobs can increase your chances of success. Then when you apply, tailor your applications or resumes to those specific roles and organizations, highlighting the skills and experiences that are most relevant, and try to show how you can contribute to their mission.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Arunabha. And again, thanks to all the listeners who are listening in. We will provide links to the Tech for Good Fellowship Program and their forum in the description below. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amit. It was really lovely to be here and speaking to your listeners.